The amount of student debt in America has reached an all-time high, and it doesn't look like that number is going to decrease anytime soon. In an article published by CNBC on December 30th, 2019, author Abigail Hess stated, "Today, some 44 million Americans collectively hold $1.6 trillion in student debt. Given that there are approximately 242 million Americans over the age of 18, that means roughly 18% of American adults are paying off student loans." This information is relevant to the audience because one thing that all college students worry about is money. The price of college is expensive and prices continue to skyrocket each year. Student loans are something that all college students hear about during their time in college. To show you why loans should be avoided, I will start by showing you the risks that student loans share. After that, I will talk about student loan alternatives, and lastly, why student loans should be avoided altogether. Before I waste any more of your time, let's learn about the risks student loans have. The first risk of student loans is interest rates. Interest rates of loans can vary depending on the type of loan and which company it is from. Interest rates are basically an extra percentage of money that you have to pay for borrowing money from the lender each time you make a payment. Another risk you have is falling behind on payments. Falling behind on payments can lead to increased interest rates, which are already high enough, so you don't want that. Penalties can be associated, and they can make you pay more than you already have to with the base amount, and your credit score can be ultimately ruined, and this can lead to bigger problems in the future, such as getting a loan for a house or a car. Student loans could also lead you to have difficulty getting a job. If you miss payments and your credit score goes bad, you ultimately could end up not getting a job. Businesses check credit scores when looking for employees. Low credit score means no job. Now let's learn about the second part, financial alternatives to student loans. There are tons of scholarships out there. Some aren't even applied for. Scholarships are pretty much free money for just a little bit of effort being put in. You usually just have to write an essay telling about a life experience that you had and how it made you better as a person. Another financial alternative to student loans is financial aid. Applying for financial aid is money from the government to help pay for college that you ultimately don't have to pay back unless you fail classes. It doesn't hurt to go online to try to apply for these funds. The least you can do is try. It can do nothing but help. The next financial alternative to student loans is working. Working can be hard if you're a very busy person, and if you're going to school, it makes it a huge challenge. But you are making money for yourself instead of borrowing it from others, so that ultimately makes it a better decision. The hardest alternative for most people is waiting to go to school. This can be challenging for people because they just want to get their career started. Waiting until you have the funds to pay for college with cash is the most effective way to stay out of loan debt. Now let's learn about how student loans can be avoided. You can avoid these loans by choosing the right school. The fancy and flashy school isn't always the best option. According to DaveRamsey.com, a website that helps people manage their money effectively, author Anthony O'Neill states in his article, "At the end of the day, your top priority should be to find a school you can afford." This might mean adjusting your expectations about where you're going to. The next alternative to student loans and way you can avoid them is to pay for college with cash. This goes back to working and being patient. If you have to only take a few credits at a time to be able to pay for college with cash, do it. The worst you can do is take you more time, but at least you won't have a huge payment waiting for you after you graduate. Another way student loans can be avoided is to live at home while you're in school. Living at home, you don't have to pay rent and you save money. Also, it may not be a great option, but it's only temporary. Until you are out of school and you're debt free and you're able to save up a huge down payment for your new house you're about to buy. The next way student loans can be avoided is to budget your money. Making a budget will help make your money go far by allocating every dollar you have to a specific place. This will help you not overspend at all. Making your college expenses part of this monthly budget will help with not taking out unnecessary loans that are unneeded to help you graduate college. Student loans have had a treacherous effect on the students of America by putting them into a hole before they even have the opportunity to earn real money. Today, we examine student loans in America and why they should be avoided by examining the risks associated with loans, financial alternatives to student loans, and lastly, how student loans can be avoided. I strongly suggest that everyone takes a second to examine their personal views on student loans and how it will affect them after college. Looking at the future is important because if you don't, you will find yourself in a huge hole you will be forced to climb out of eventually. Slowly but surely, each individual has the opportunity to quit adding to the already huge pile of debt millions of Americans face each day. This starts with you. Think of what you could do with all your money if you don't have to worry about cutting the student loan company a check every single month.